Hello there, and welcome into Better Advertising with Better Media, a podcast for brand founders and marketers to share strategies and stories that help brands grow in this marketplace world we live in today, the world of Amazon and Walmart. My name is Justin Knuckles, and I'm your host here on the show. While we focus on paid advertising, we have conversations every week, if not every day, with brands and sellers on rank or ranking. Anyone within the Amazon industry has likely spent more than a few hours talking and strategizing on organic rank, and maybe even your advertising relationship to it. Today, leading the podcast, without hypothesis or theory on the ranking matter, but a true case study built around better media ranking philosophy, is Emery Robbins and our CEO, Destiny Wishon. I'll let you, Destiny, take it from here.
Hello, everyone, and welcome back to the Better Media podcast. So today we're incredibly excited to discuss organic rank on Amazon. So for those of you who have been followers for quite some time, I'm sure you guys are well aware of how we discuss the relationship between your Amazon advertising performance and your organic results. And it's incredibly important to understand the tie-in because Amazon advertising is not solely a marketing campaign. It is a flywheel that influences many other aspects of the business. And I'm incredibly excited to interview our very own Emery Robbins here. Hello, Emery.
Hi, so glad to be here. I'm super excited to talk through this. It's near and dear to the way that we run Amazon businesses here at Better Media.
Yeah, and Emery brings a unique perspective because she actually worked brand side prior to this. So if anyone understands managing a P&L and managing your marketing budget, it's going to be Emery. I thought it'd be fun to have her on the podcast because I've been pitching Amazon Organic Rank for probably the last 3 years. And I've always done a really distinct case study where we had $60,000 to spend in a 24-hour period. And that's not always realistic for everyone. So we decided to bring Emery on because she ran some of our organic rank strategies for one of her brands. And we put together multiple slides on a case study on that direct relationship where we looked at BSR increases that were in line with the time frame of our organic rank campaigns. So I'm going to pause real quick and shout out some of the videos that we have on organic rank and tacos. If you want a full in-depth strategy overview, we're going to link that in the comments. But for the sake of time and for the sake of YouTube and LinkedIn content, we're going to keep this one a little bit shorter. So for those who are unaware, when we discuss organic rank on Amazon, we're really considering how the algorithm works. So the Amazon algorithm is built to make sure the customer has the best possible experience, right? So when you make a search on Amazon as a customer, if you type in chapstick, you want to see chapstick. If I type in protein shake, I want to see protein shake, right? Their advertising is built on a platform of relevancy, and so is their organic rank methodology. So when you are considering how you improve your organic rank, you really have to consider the signals you're sending to the algorithm. And for us, we've really identified one, they want to show the right products to the right searches, as we've discussed. So are customers clicking on an ad or an organic listing when they make a search? Yes or no? Hopefully, yes, right? And that is, you can tell whether or not that's true by your click-through rate. Do you have a click-through rate that is in line with the category? But a step further than that, and this is a slightly different methodology than I would say the majority of the other thought leaders in the space, click-through rate's not all that matters because Amazon doesn't want you just clicking on a listing with a great main image. They want you to view that product detail page and also purchase the product. So conversion rate matters. Now, as with any algorithm, what is the core of the algorithm success? It's having enough data to actually make a decision on. So it's not just click-through rate, it's not just conversion rate, it's also volume or sales. You have to drive enough sales for any one keyword in order to truly manipulate or build relevancy and trust within the algorithm. So when we're building our organic rank strategy, I'm not going to get in the weeds. Again, we have other videos on this, but what we do and what Emery has done here, she's identified the keywords that we have the best conversion rate, the best click-through rate on, right? That's easy to pull with Amazon advertising insights. And then you're putting those strategically into a campaign, usually exact match, so we can be really, really precise with our targeting. And you're setting a lower budget in the beginning, right? To make sure we have that conversion rate and just driving traffic. So we create these segmented rank campaigns because we're not looking at ACOS or ROAS. We're looking at a high click-through rate, a high conversion rate, and driving units and orders. So Emory has the case study. We're going to pull it up and share screen really quick and walk through what this actually looks like in action. So Emory, if you want to hop into a screen share, that would be fantastic.
Let's do it. I love your comment around sending as many positive signals to the algorithm as you can get. And so digging into those keywords that have click-through rate, yes, but conversion, which keywords are most relevant for this product that you can be confident in and put behind spend. And so let me get my screen shared and we can walk through 3 different keywords for 2 different products. And the first keyword is beauty blender. So this product is a makeup sponge, a beauty blender, if you will. And we put $830 behind this exact keyword for 30 days. It drove 2,367 in sales with a 1.5% click-through rate. But here's the key. Look at that conversion rate. 51% of the people who clicked on the ad purchased the product. That is a clear buying signal. This keyword works. And this product is really incredible, has amazing reviews, lots of history on the platform. And we were able to get to position number 1, bestseller ranking number 1 for Beauty Blender. And you can see on the right with this graph, this is a chart of the last 90 days. And so you can see this orange little star here is about when we started this test. You can see there's a lot of volatility with bestseller ranking until we started the test and really put direct spend behind this keyword.
Now, a core call out that I want to have here is we identified a keyword that we knew was already performing well. So we pulled a search term report and worked closely with the brand and, strong click-through rate and an insanely strong conversion rate. That part is important. If you have a bad listing with a terrible conversion rate, you're going to have to spend so much more money to make up for that, to drive the amount of volume. The reason we were able to achieve this success with a lower spend than what would maybe be considered normal is because we have an insanely high conversion rate. We're doing well in the category. So when we layered in some consistency of winning top of search and driving sales, that was when we saw this amount of success. Now, I have a quick question. If you would have gone after a term like makeup, do you think you would have seen the same results?
I do not think so because it's way broader. So that's the whole key to the rank campaigns is that highly relevant keyword that you're going to have that conversion rate with.
Now, a important call out here is there's always this balance of, do you go after your highest volume keywords like makeup, or do you go a little bit more niche like Beauty Blender? In this instance, we knew that the brand we were working with still had ROAS obligations, so they couldn't go all in on a term like makeup brush or something along those lines. So we went after Beauty Blender and we saw amazing results, again, that bestseller badge. And what happens when you hit that number 1 position is you can maybe pull off slightly on ads because your product's in number 1. It's getting so much more organic sales and clicks because you have the highest visibility organically on the page. So you can slow down on ads. You don't always have to because you're now driving so much organic sales volume. Your tacos is usually the same or lower. But those organic sales might allow you to shift your budget into a more competitive keyword because now your top line sales is increased because you precisely improved your organic rank on something a little bit more niche, but it was in a profitable fashion, right? A lot of brands come to us like, hey, I want to be number 1 in protein or in vitamin C serum or garlic press, right? And it's like, okay, that's not going to happen. But if we go a little bit more niche, we can incrementally work our way up. And I think that's what you're going to show on this next slide is we took this exact same methodology and found a few other terms where we had similar performance. So do you want to talk through this one?
Yep, absolutely. So another term, makeup sponge. This is a category term. Beauty blender is, yes, a category term, but also a branded term for a competitor in the space. So makeup sponge invested a little bit less here, but you can see our ROAS is so strong, again, because it's so relevant. Our conversion rate, 54%. So over half the people who are clicking on this ad are purchasing. And I think the graph is a perfect example of showing how your bestseller ranking and your position can at times look really good. You know, one day looks really good. Well, if someone searches makeup sponge on what was that, January 6th, we would have been at position 82. But what we did is we focused not a lot of spend, but spend on exact match for 30 days. And you can see the consistency that proceeds when you have that type of focus around a keyword. And I do want to call out that we had a improvement in tacos through this as well. I mean, it's small improvements, but another thing that Destiny kind of just mentioned was we also could run another 30-day test where we really pull back spend and see how our bestseller ranking holds, or if we know it starts dropping off, hey, we need to consistently be investing in this for a longer period of time.
And that's why it's so important to have these campaigns set up regardless of where you're at. So that way you can be incredibly reactive to what your organic listing is doing. So as Emery mentioned, we set these campaigns up from the beginning. We put them up separate. They're in their own campaigns called ranking campaigns for this reason. If we're in number one, maybe we turn them off, right? Maybe we don't want to cannibalize. If we start slipping down the page and we're at number 7 or number 8 and number 9, maybe search volume's down, maybe our conversion rate decreased, maybe our external traffic decreased, Emery can hop in Ad Console and within 12 seconds, identify the appropriate campaign to turn back on, right? We're only focusing on a few keywords because, again, the precision is what made this successful. If we tried to go after 30 keywords and we had a small budget, we're going to be diluted. We're going to be spread way too thin, and we're not going to drive a strong enough signal for any one keyword to really drive an overall performance increase. But what Emery did is create these very precise select campaigns that she could track performance on and then turn them on and off as needed.
Absolutely. And lastly, this is Beauty Sponge, a lot less investment. However, I'm still seeing that consistency after the fact proceed, which is why we're doing this is, hey, can we invest some money in this keyword that helps us get more consistent? And the ROAS is a 2.65, conversion rate 42%. Again, still really strong metric. So I think for smaller brands, you don't have to invest, $800, $1,000 for a keyword. Just start small, set that daily budget to $10, $15 and see how things, shake out over 30 days. Again, there's precision to it because of the way things are set up within Ad Console.
100%. And I want to reiterate something small that Emery just said. If you have less budget, you may need to have more realistic expectations around the time frame necessary. Most brands, especially small brands, are not going to have a 50% conversion rate on their top terms, more than likely. Unless you've done an amazing job with your listing, then shout out to you. So when you have a lower conversion rate and less budget, your time frame to rank is probably going to be a lot longer. You may need to take a loss for a little bit longer, right? So a lot of what we're doing as an agency as Better Media is figuring out the time frame that aligns with a brand's goals. I mentioned that case study in the example that I had in the beginning of the call where we were given $60,000 to spend on one keyword in 24 hours. We had a 30% conversion rate, but it was in the supplement category, so it's pretty competitive. We went from number 8 to number 3 in 24 hours, which is insane. And then it stuck because once we were number 3, we had so much visibility organically. Our sales volume stayed consistent. We could pull back on ads. We were only able to achieve that quick of an organic rank increase because we had a conversion rate that was much better than category, and we had a ton of money. So we sent a ton of traffic in a short period of time. If you don't have that much money, you may have to drive the same amount of sales volume that we did in 24 hours over 3 months, right? And then consistently ramp up as needed. And that can be a hard conversation for sellers. I know, especially in the beginning of Better Media era, Better AMS days, when we were working with, smaller sellers, it can be really difficult because it is your personal cash going into the business. But Amazon's a much more competitive landscape now. If you're not focusing on organic rank and, your general share of shelf, you're going to be in a tight position because someone else will. Not only is Amazon one of the best platforms for selling, it's also one of the best platforms for advertising, regardless if you're an Amazon brand or not. And as people start understanding that value, it's going to stay competitive.
And brands need to improve their organic ranking to be more profitable.
Yep.
And so this is an avenue where you're not just throwing money into your ad console and not knowing where it's going and what the impacts are. This was critical to the business. And we were able to prove, hey, if we invest money, your position will hold stronger. Maybe it's not changing dramatically within 30 days, but it's not having these crazy volatile days where you're dropping to 80, what page is that page these days? I'm not really sure, but it's critical to focus on where you can improve your organic rank. And again, you're not going to do it on 20 keywords. Pick 3, pick 5, like get specific with it and really focus on tracking that.
100%. And kind of going back to initial discussion, if you're on page 2 or page 3, you're not getting any visibility. A lot of brands, back in the old days, it was like you get on page 1 of Amazon, you're doing amazing. Well, now it's a little bit more competitive. So you have to keep an eye on where you are on the page in order to make sure you're building a business that's going to last. Because if you start slipping, you go out of stock, it is a dangerous game trying to remake up that share. Because again, if you're not advertising, someone else is. So your goal should be on advertising a lot more strategically, which is why a partnership with, someone like Emory and Better Media makes a lot of sense. It's no longer just about keywords and bid optimization. It's about creative and path to purchase and influencing your organic business and your off-platform business as we start getting more signals from AMC. And that's difficult. That can be difficult to build out. So, Emory, thank you so much for hopping on.
Thank you. It was really fun. I love doing it and had a really fun story to share as well.
Of course, we're gonna have to do about 72 more of these because I feel the same. Like, hey, here's an actual case study that is aligned with the actual strategies we've been preaching everywhere else. So if you want to contact either of us, definitely check us both out on LinkedIn. We post a lot of content there, or at bettermedia.com, or on YouTube, or our podcast. We have content pretty much everywhere. So you'll find us somewhere, or honestly at a show.
Yes, at a show. Yeah. DM me if you have any questions about this. It's really fun to talk ad strategy with anyone and everyone. So thank you.
All right, thank you guys. See ya.